In Arizona, Lake Victoria was known as the most popular destination for spring break. However, a year ago it was attacked by prehistoric piranhas and thousands of people died. An eradication campaign has made the lake uninhabitable, causing the local economy to fall into ruin because the area doesn't attract tourism anymore. Lake Victoria is now a quarantine area. In Cross Lake, two farmers are looking for their cow without noticing the strange egg stuck on the underwater plants. They get in the lake and look around until they found the poor cow out in the water. They ed her with a hook to start muzzling her, and they don't see an egg coming out of her mouth. While something fast swims near them, the farmers notice the cow's belly moving and they touch it to check. The cow immediately farts and ejects more eggs. One of the guys tries to take a closer look and pulls out his lighter, only for the cow to fart again. This gas hits the small flame and makes it a big fire, scattering the farters. As they steep back, the whole cow explodes and eggs that were inside the body fall and rain around. These eggs quickly hatch and newborn piranhas surround farmers to bite their legs until they collapse. There's humans. One of the farmers resurfaces with piranhas on his face. He grabs one and bites its head off, spinning it up in the air before falling back in the water. Sometime later, Chet is recording an ad for the reopening of his water park, using lots of beautiful women as part of the promotion. At that moment, his stepdaughter Maddie comes home for the summer and is horrified to realize that Chet has replaced their certified lifeguards with strippers. Chet reminds her that her dead mother lies the park in his heads and his big plans in mind, like a closed area only for adults wherever mind can have naked. There are cameras that record close-ups of women's bodies and play them on big screens. Maddie hates it and wants to remove the cameras, but Chet owns 51% of the park and Maddie only has 49%, so his word is final. That night there's a huge party at the water park and Maddie reunites with some old friends including Barry, who has secretly been in love with her since 7th grade. When two guys try to light their cigarettes with fireworks, the little rocket ends up falling in the water and creating a small explosion. Pfeiffer's the Kyle Derek's about arresting him, but he's drinking and smoking too. His Mad's ex-boyfriend and keeps trying to flirt with her. At the lake, Shelby and Josh go skinny dipping, and while they're having fun the piranhas start swimming around their legs. Swimming a piranha gets between Shelby's thighs and swims inside her, making Shelby think Josh trying to get nigh. Josh swears in Drenton, but Shelby leaves anyway. Meanwhile, Van, Ashley makes her boyfriend Travis pray with her before they get dirty. After she handcuffs Warren's house, they get down to business and ask Ali King Andrek. The van immediately starts moving and falls into the lake, so now there's water slowly flooding the vehicle. Ashley discovers that the handcuff key has fallen, so they desperately look for it to no avail. Deciding that it's better to get help, Ashley gets out of the van and climbs on top of it. At that moment, the piranhas enter the van and start eating Travis. As the vehicle continues to sink, Ashley calls for Travis while checking the window, which is suddenly smashed by Travis' bloody stump. Then his body sinks and the piranhas eat what is left while Ashley keeps on yelling for help. The next day, Barry is clinging all that Travis left while apparently Frank's co-worker date getting naughty with the letter and full hype. Maddie keeps looking for Ashley and Travis, but Shelby and Josh haven't heard from them. Suddenly, Shelby feels sick and throws up on the floor. Dave thinks Shelby is pregnant and calls a morning sickness. Meanwhile, the cops retrieve the van from the lake, but they don't find any bodies. Call informs the others that the couple is missing and Shelby keeps trying to call Ashley, but she won't answer. Afterward, Shelby and Maddie sit by the lake to discuss the situation. At that moment, Shelby feels something touching her feet and the girls see a huge piranha jumping in the Momo. They immediately go away in fear, but the piranhas hit the jetty to break the wood and cause Shelby to fall into the water. Maddie rushes to help her and manages to get Shelby out right before the piranhas could bite her. As they run, a plank breaks and Shelby's foot gets stuck in the hole. Maddie quickly helps her again and they keep running, but this time the jetty splits and Shelby gets stuck with a foot on each side. The piranhas start swimming under her and even jump to try to get her. A terrified Shelby jumps to land on the end half of the jetty and tries to move it by rowing with her hands, but the piranhas try to bite her again, so she has to pull her hands out. Maddie reaches out and Shelby manages to grab her hands to jump again and join her on the other jetty half, but the piranhas keep attacking the wood and cause both girls to fall into the water. The piranhas quickly come after them, so the duo swims as fast as possible and thankfully reaches the shore without getting hurt. When a piranha jumps out to attack them on land, Maddie catches it and throws it on the sand. Then both girls grab rocks and start smashing the fish without mercy. As Barry arrives to check on them, they poke the piranha and it moves one last on the foot find they dime. Soon Kyle picks them up in his car, but he doesn't believe that piranhas could have traveled from one lake to the other. Barry finds videos of a scientist named Goodman who studied the piranhas in Lake Victoria while Kyle keeps flirting with Maddie and even touching her. In the evening, they make it to Lake Victoria and meet Goodman to tell him that the piranhas are back. He points out that the lakes aren't connected, so the fishies must be migrating through underground lakes and rivers. The piranha in his lab snaps at anyone who gets too close to its tap. Goodman puts a sheet of steel in the middle when he taps and a piranha in their sap. The piranha immediately starts hitting the metal and eventually makes a hole in it. When it's about to eat its prey, Barry pulls the frog out to save it. Afterward, Goodman explains that these piranhas are ancient and have spent all these years in spots full of sulfur dioxide from geothermal activity. This is what allowed them to come back. Sulfur dioxide is used in the treatment of chlorinated water, which means the piranhas followed the sulfur into man-made drainage systems. Maddie remembers that the water park drains directly into Piranha Lake, so the insane remember of Corey and MERS that bark are piranhas. Barry enthusiastically discusses theories with Goodman, and Maddie is surprised he knows so much about the subject, so Barry explains that he read a marine biology book because that's what she's studying. Kyle can bring a team to check the pipes in the morning, but Maddie points out that tomorrow is the park's big opening, so they need to check the pipes tonight. Otherwise, the piranhas will feed on their clients. Moments later at the lake, Maddie asks Barry to come with her, but Barry admits he can't swim. Maddie then dives in and checks the safety grates on their pipelines. Their stubborn get commission, so the piranhas heed Madela swimming to depart. Suddenly a piranha appears next to her and bites her ankle. It manages to draw some blood, but Maddie moves quickly and the injury isn't serious. More piranhas are coming for her, so she swims as fast as possible to the surface and Kyle jumps into the water to help her get out just in time. Then they kiss, so an annoyed Barry walks away. Meanwhile, the piranhas keep feeding on Ashley, whose body is now at the bottom of the lake. The couple's disappearance is on the news and Shelby is on the verge of a breakdown. She asks Josh to get naughty with her because she doesn't feel well and doesn't want to die a virgin. At first things go well, but soon Shelby feels like something is wrong. Jess ignores her pleas and just keeps moving, not noticing Shelby's stomach scorbing. Suddenly she starts ignoring Pap's out, but Josh feels something shank. He pulls out and discovers a piranha biting his member. He runs around the room in panic and accidentally crashes into a mirror before he finds a knife, which he uses to chop off his banana with the piranha still attached. Blood splatters on the walls and he yells in unbearable pain before collapsing. When Shelby finally wakes up, she finds the piranha squirming in blood. She steps on it and it spits out the chopped member. Shelby keeps looking for Josh until he appears behind her, furiously screaming and asking what she did to him. In town, Kyle forces Chet to pull over and asks if he's really coming. It turns out Chet is illegally pumping water from an underground river into the park and Kyle is protecting a secret. Before leaving, Kyle writes him a ticket, but Chet throws it away. At Maddie's house, Barry asks her if she and Kyle are back together, and she swears they aren't. They're interrupted by Shelby, who tells them what happened while their groin keeps bleeding. Moments later, both Shelby and Josh are hospitalized and people are having trouble believing Shelby's story. At home, Maddie chucks on Marjorie while taking a bath. Suddenly, Tony Pirani started coming out of the faucet full and Maddie huge where Maddie checks Maddie. However, at that moment she wakes up from this nightmare. The next day, the water park finally has its big reopening. One of the clients is Deputy Fallon, who fought the piranhas last time and lost his legs in the process. Fallon sees the pool and his PTSD makes him nervous about being near the water again, but his friend Andrew convinces him that this is the best way to face his fears. While everyone has fun and the kids try to spy on the adult pool, Fallon asks Andrew to dump him into the pool. However, Fallon panics at the last second and ends up hurling Andrew into the pool fast. Then Chet welcomes everyone and brings out a special star. It's Hasselhoff, known for playing a lifeguard on TV. He flirts with all the women while taking selfies with them. Meanwhile, Maddie is wandering around the park and finally discovers the machine that is illegally pumping water from the river. She scolds Chet for what he did and tells him about the piranhas, but he doesn't believe the story. The machine keeps pumping, so now the piranhas are moving fast through the pipes. But breaking a weak grate, a piranha finally reaches the pools. Seeing it keeps hum says now that he's being bitten by piranhas, but she doesn't believe him and tells him it's just a scratch. The boy then asks Hasselhoff for a band-aid and he responds by giving him a signed picture. Since the kid doesn't know who this man is, and Hasselhoff is offended. A woman in the pool cries out when she sees a piranha, which quickly hides in the pipe again. The lady tells Maddie what she saw, so Maddie tries to make everyone get out of the pool, but they won't listen. Then Maddie asks Chet to close the park, but they refuses and says the lady is lying. When Maddie tries to kick people out, Carr drags her away. Barry tries to defend her, but he isn't taken seriously. Afterward, the horde of piranhas invades the pools and starts attacking people, turning the water pink with blood. Everyone starts panicking and yelling as the piranhas have a feast in every corner. Even Dave is bitten while he's getting naughty with a pipe again. Andrew wants to run away with his friend, however Fallon wants to fight. He puts on his titanium legs and steps into the pool, so when the piranhas try to bite him he only tastes metal. These legs are also shotguns in disguise, so Fallon starts shooting little piranhas all helping people get out of the water. The bitten kid keeps yelling for help and Hasselhoff ignores him. A woman tells him to do his job, so Hasselhoff reminds her that he never was a real lifeguard and people just need to get out of the water. The boy keeps on screaming and Hasselhoff eventually feels guilty, so he runs in slow motion like the old times and pushes people out of the way before jumping into the pool. He rescues the boy and realizes he finally is a real bodyguard. In the middle of the chaos, Maddie finds Chet and punches him as she blames him for everything. Then she asks Barry to force drain the poles. Before leaving, Barry tells her that he's loved her all alone. Maddie admits she thought he liked guys and kisses his cheek. On his way to the pump house, Barry finds Dave with a piranha stuck in his rear and helps him pull it out. Chet retrieves the box with all the money they made today and tries to run away. When he sees a girl crying over her mother's body, he feels guilty and gets her some change. Then he gets on a golf cart to escape, only to run over the girl in the process. He drives ahead for a few seconds and doesn't see the banners, which easily decapitate him. The head falls into the adult pearl and the piranhas with it on camera. While Maddie keeps helping people, Barry and Dave make it to the pump house and start draining the pools. Little by little all the piranhas are being sectioned by the pipes. Maddie also gets caught in the current and Kyle comes to help her while telling her about his deal with Chet. However, when he sees all the blood, Kyle panics and runs away without helping her. Maddie struggles to swim against the pipe section and ends up sinking to the bottom of the pool. Barry jumps into the water to help, but he remembers he can't swim and has to climb out. At that moment, a big piranha bursts the water, tummed to the pool and tastic like Barry. It was running out of the beach. A smaller piranha is approaching Maddie only to be eaten by its big counterpart. When the super piranha tries to go after Maddie next, Barry grabs his litter Triton and throws it at the creature, stabbing it in the head just in time to kill it. As Maddie passes out, the rain pumps stop working. Barry jumps into the pool with a huge brick tied to his body so he can walk on the bottom and find Maddie. He grabs her and lets go of the brick to resurface. Then he gives her CPR to wake her red. Maddie is grateful for his help and Kufasan. Kyle feels guilty about doing nothing and comes back to rescue Maddie, but he's late and picks up a random body instead. In the pump house, Dave pours concentrated chlorine into the pipes, followed by a lit cigarette. This causes all the pools to explode and kill all the piranhas at the same time. After flying for a few seconds, the Triton lands on Kyle's head and kills him. At that moment, Maddie gets a call from Goodman, who informs her that piranhas are evolving and learning to walk. His own piranha has already escaped from the tank. At the same time, a piranha emerges from pool and walks on the ground. The Thanian bird comes closer from take a picture and the piranha jurs from the campicate splashing blood all over the mother. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.